this is the first time we've been back to Malaysia in 6 years. And I've almost forgotten how warm the welcome is here. It's extraordinary. It just runs over you. And, you know, good morning to FLP Asia. And greetings from our own team and from the UK, and also from everybody else in Europe. And when we were asked to speak, apart from the fact that it was a great honour, we thought, what can we share with people which will be of benefit? So what I'm going to try and do in this next session is to just take you through a few thoughts which can secure your future and lead to a great life for you and your people. Jane will share more of our story with you in this afternoon's session. But we joined Forever, became part of the Forever family in 1993. And funny enough, Lonnie and Edmund were some of the first people we became friends with internationally. So it's been an incredible journey. Along the way, we became millionaires. And I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that this stuff works. We had about 8 people become net worth sterling billionaires. In other words, if you count up all their assets, excluding the value of their house, and we take off the liabilities, they have a net worth of at least £1 million sterling. So, yes, it works. I came from a very ordinary background. My grandfather was a coal miner. My father ran away from home, so he didn't have to be a coal miner. And for his generation, the route to security and a great future life was to get an education. So I went and did that. He wanted me to get a good job because he thought that was the route to a secure future. And I did. And then I sort of got to the middle years of my life, and I suddenly realized that I'd done all this, but I still didn't have any money. You know, I didn't know at that time that of all the people on this planet who are in a job, 99% of them will die with less than $5,000 in the bank after a lifetime of working. What that means is, in a job, you've only got a 1 in 100 chance of not going broke. I don't like those odds. I don't gamble. But if a horse was running tomorrow at 100 to 1, what would the bookmakers call it? A long shot. An outsider. And people in jobs constantly bet against themselves at 100 to 1 and consistently lose. And if you think of all the people in a job, how many of them live in an absolutely to die for house? How many drive exotic, beautiful cars? How many go to absolutely gorgeous destinations? About 1 in 100. So I don't like those odds. Traditional business, that's another option. It's complicated. You know, you have to master some skills. You have to premise stock. You have goods in, goods out, shrinkage, which is another word for theft. There's all that stuff. I thought, that's too complicated. And anyway, you need money to start one of those sort of businesses. And it's a very competitive dog-eat-dog regime. So when I saw networking, I thought, this is fantastic. This is truly a business that people can thrive in without necessarily having any specialist skills. Because I didn't have those skills. And I also, you know, when I started in Forever, I didn't know anything about these sort of products. Didn't really know much about this sort of marketing. But I thought, well, I'm not stupid. If it's important enough, I can learn. And right at that moment in 1993, it was important because we've got 4 children and they opened the refrigerator and there was no food in there. You know, children do not take prisoners, do they? When there's no food in the refrigerator. You know, you're supposed to be the grown-up. You have the responsibility to make sure there is food there. So Jay and I were looking for something to change the future for ourselves. I put on the slide, network marketing, the people's business. in technology, not too good. Do I have to point us to something? You see, you don't have to be bright to be successful. It helps. You don't have to be bright. Never up in people's business. It's a business that just about anybody can be involved in if they choose to. Didn't really know much about this sort of marketing, but I thought, well, I'm not stupid. If it's important enough, I can learn. And right at that moment in 1993, it was important because we've got 4 children and they opened the refrigerator and there was no food in there. You know, children do not take prisoners, do they? When there's no food in the refrigerator. You know, you're supposed to be the grown-up. You have the responsibility to make sure there is food there. So Jane and I were looking for something to change the future for ourselves. I put on the slide, network marketing, the people's business. In technology, not too good. Do I have to point us to something? You see, you don't have to be bright to be successful. It helps. You don't have to be bright. Never up in people's business. It's a business that just about anybody can be involved in if they choose to. What sort of business is it? Well, let me paint a picture for you. I want each of you, please, individually, to imagine that this morning 10,000 people went into their bathroom when they got up and they shampooed their hair with the Forever shampoo. They cleaned their teeth with the Forever teeth. They used the deodorant. They went downstairs, they opened the refrigerator, they took out the gel, they shook it up, they put it in the glass, they took a few supplements, and they went off to work. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And then in their spare time, they went out and serviced a few customers. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Is that a good business? I think it is. It's 10,000 times a day. Yeah, I look in the mouths here, it's interesting, you know, mouths all over the world now are beginning to look identical because you have all these multiples and they have outlets, don't they? They have a major outlet in every town. The great thing about it is you don't have one outlet, you can have thousands of outlets if you want to. You see, we take the service to the customer, not the customer coming to the service. It's a very powerful medium. It works. But can you imagine what it's like? 10,000 people going into their bathroom every day. And if you can do 10,000, you can do 100,000. You ever heard the phrase, safety in numbers? You know, there's this old style of stuff where you just rely on what those and that can do in the time that you've got. It's never going to make you a lot of money. It'll make you a living. And it'll never give you security because your security is only while you are standing up. And while somebody chooses to pay you at wholesale and charge you out at retail, you never are paid what you're worth. In this business, you can make what you are worth if you're prepared to do the work that goes with that work. Does that make sense? Hello? Is anybody out there? So how do we build a business? How do we build a business? Hey, this is a major grant for me. How do we build a business? Well, we use the products. We've got hair care, skin care, tooth care, body care, weight management, nutrition, look good, feel good. Take care of yourself. We're in the well-being market, aren't we? You've got to use products. You've got to be a major user of the products. Because you see, most of the people who are involved in this industry are not salespeople. They don't have specialist skills. but it's very easy to transfer your genuine enthusiasm for something that you use and you got benefit from, or your child got benefit from, or your dog got benefit from. You don't need special skills for that. So you can look somebody in the eye and say, work for me, I'm sure it'll work for you. There's a magic in that. So you've got to be a user of the product. You've got to be your own best customer. You've got to sell product. It's not about going out and selling to the world personally, but it's very important that we understand the products have to be sold. They have to move out in the marketplace for this to be a genuine business. If we were only buying products for our personal use, this would be a discount buying club. You wouldn't be making any money. Products have got to move out. So we're using the products, we're selling the products, and then we're recruiting people and teaching them how to do the same. If anybody was hoping for more, I'm terribly sorry. That's as complicated as I know how to make it. You see, it's a simple business, but it's not easy. The key to this business is understanding that you need the numbers, you need the averages that numbers will create, and you need to have a process that you plug people into that's duplicatable. If you want to build a powerful business, you've got to have a simple message that you can teach other people to duplicate down. So that when, for example, Jane and I go to, say, Nigeria, when we go to a manager's meeting at our 41st level, we understand and recognize the material that's being taught. That's duplication. I'll give you an analogy. If you bought a McDonald's, would you decide to put meat on the outside of the bun? No, you wouldn't. They're successful because they have a duplicatable process. It tastes as bad here as it does in Moscow or London. Yeah? Our products will do you a lot more good. That's a really great thing. So you have to use a process. A recognizable system is the key thing. What's the process look like? That's it. You can see it on the screen. We start with prospects. Prospects. Now, I don't know how many million people there are on this planet, but all of those are not currently in forever are prospects. How do you recognize one? If you see somebody with a head and arms and legs, it's a pretty good chance it's a prospect. But you know what? They're being born more quickly than we can get to them. You never run out of prospects. You never run out of people. The important thing is you have to make contact with those people. And we're talking a little bit about how you make contact with those people. Contact and show. It might be a conversation in the street. It might be a telephone call. It could be via a one-to-one. It could be via a DVD. It could be a meeting, lots and lots of ways, business days, training, you put people through a pipeline process. And guess what? At the bottom of the pipeline, out come distributors, assistant supervisors, assistant managers, senior managers, scoring managers, sapphire diamonds, double diamonds, triple diamonds, quadruple diamonds, and people who need to be recycled. In other words, they went through the process, and at a later stage, they put them back through the process again to see if we can get a different result with those unfortunate people who chose the first time not to join the business or become customers. That's it. It's pipeline. Now you've got to fill that pipeline. You've got to fill it. In other words, if you want a really successful business, you've got to get to a lot of people. And in a little while we talk about the numbers involved in that. Again, that's it. That's the process. Now when I compare that, I was involved in running a company at one time, a traditional company. And when I think back to the nightmare headaches involved in running that business, and I look at this, it's a no-brainer. It's easy to get into. It's simple, but it's not easy to do. That's where people get confused. They go, oh, it's so easy to get into forever. Where's all the money? You haven't invested the time and the expertise that you will acquire along the way yet. You know, would you go to a local bank, open a bank account and say, give me the money? They go, you haven't made a deposit. Oh no, that's not right. I just opened a bank account with Standard Chartered. Give me the money. No, that's not the way the system works. You have to make investments first. And it's the same in this business. You have to invest the time and effort in order to create expertise to grow that business and then teach other people how to apply that expertise. Okay, context is showing now we go on to when we find our prospects. Well, the most powerful thing you will ever have is a contact list. Who do you know? I hear people say constantly, I don't mind who I speak to as long as it's a stranger. Really? That's interesting. 3 times harder to work with a stranger than it is with somebody you know, because the first thing is, who are you? Can I trust you? Do I believe you? So you make a list. During when I first started, we made a list. Our sponsor said, write a list of all the people you know. We very proudly gave him our list with 38 names on it. He said, you are 2 sad, lonely people. What we realized we'd done was to make a list of the people we thought, in our ignorance, would want to do the business. He said, no, everybody. So let me have a look at your mobile phone. In those days, the mobile phone was about that big. All right? 3 people carry a battery. And he said, all those people, what do you mean you don't know any people? That one's not on the list, that one's not on the list, that one's not on the list. He said, everybody, dump their names on the paper. Do not prejudge. Everybody you've ever met, everybody who's met you, everybody you can recall, everybody you bought from, everybody you sold to, everybody you were educated with, everybody who taught you. Everybody. If they breathe, put them on the list. We did that. We had nearly 300 names the first time. He said, that's not good enough. He said, take the first name. Jim Brown. Who else do you know is called Jim? Yeah? Write them down. Who else do you know is called Brown? Write them down. Where do they live? Who else do you know lives there? Tell me something about them. They've got 2 kids. Who else do you know has got 2 kids? What do they do? Who else do you know who does that? We finished up with 1,000 names on the list. We'd gone in at the beginning with 38 names. Proudly. You see, sometimes people do not understand that they need to follow instructions. It's amazing, they come into our profession, and because they haven't just done 3 years in university, they think in 5 minutes they understand this profession. No, they don't. Why should they? Lists is so important. And you know what happens when you use a name off the list? They go back onto the list at the bottom. Even the ones who said, do not ever mention this to me again. Do not cross my door with this stuff. Go on the bottom of the list. Because times change, and people change, and their circumstances change. You can always go back. Okay? Where else do we find our prospects? We can use marketing. We can use cards. You've got to be a little bit creative. Anything for an excuse to talk to somebody. But the key with that sort of prospecting is to actually look at somebody eyeball to eyeball. Because if you do what so many people in their ignorance do and just hand out cards without looking at anybody, it doesn't really work. But when you look at somebody and say, this is for you, smile, eye contact. Hey, this is all about snap judgment. I'm sure you never do it, do you? Make snap judgments about something. But if somebody's looking down at the pavement and can't look you in the eye, you don't tend to think they're open and friendly. It's about a relationship. You know, in 2 seconds they can buy you. Or not. So give yourself the best chance by actually looking at this person, because this could be a future diamond. How much would you like to meet future diamond? This is active, intelligent marketing. You can even hand out cards. We always use cards with two sides. If you want to hand out different cards, hand out a card that's blank on one side, in a colour. What does that do? Person goes, what's that? Anything to attract attention. Talk to people. Now, I'm typical of people from Britain. We don't do that sort of thing. We don't go talking to strangers. It's not in our national psyche up here. No. Get over it. Learn how to strike up natural conversation with people. And don't hit them between the eyes with red-living products at the first moment. Otherwise, they cross the road and they see with it. It's about striking up conversations that lead to relationships, and this is a relationship business. It's about people. And making contact. Telephone is a wonderful medium, particularly in this age of cell phones. Make contact with them. You can send an email. Do you know that only when we started this business there was about one person in 1,000 who had a cell phone. As I say, they were huge. Email hasn't been invented. Send a text message. Skype message. Yeah, you can get a carrier pigeon if you like. Put a message in and throw it up in the air. I don't care how you get to the people. Get a message to them. That's the key thing. Make contact with other people. This is network marketing, not work marketing. If you're going to become a recluse, you know, join the secret police, keep your box in a cupboard, out of sight, and not talk to people. Don't be surprised if you don't get to where you never really want to get to anyway. Why would you? Doesn't make any sense. This is network marketing, this is content marketing. If you really don't like people, this is probably not the place for you to be. If you look in the mirror and you don't like yourself, it's even worse, isn't it? Not only don't I like other people, I don't like me. You're in the wrong business. Okay? It's the contact's for. Talk to everyone. Everyone. I never miss an opportunity. Yeah? Did anybody fly here to get to this event? No? Nobody flew here. Wow. I'm impressed. I had to get on a plane. I know people think that diamonds can walk across water, but it's not true. Yeah? When you checked in, did somebody check your bag? Did you speak to them? If not, why not? Did you go and get any refreshments? Somebody must have served you. Did you speak to them? On the aeroplane, or the ship, or whatever it was there somebody there to talk to? You have to make contact with people. Right? We're in a contact business. Don't judge. Don't prejudge. Not only the message. It's a great message. If you really believe in your heart and your mind that this could be a benefit to other people, either by way of the product or by way of the opportunity, why would you be so mean and miserable as to not make contact with them? Why would you be that selfish if you really believe in what you're doing? Hello? I'm back. Oh, I'm sitting my time. You've got to make contact with people. Smart, eye contact. Do it hard. You do it with your friends. You can do it with strangers. What do we say? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Remember, the relationship starts here. You know, if you go up and you meet somebody you know or somebody you didn't know before, and you launch straight into this forever living product specification about Rex and how it started and the products and you know, they don't want an hour and a half lecture. do what you're doing. Keep it simple. Hi Fred, it's John. How are you? How are the kids? Fred, you know you've always talked about that yacht that you wanted. Is that for real? You still want it? It is. Fred, I found a way for you to get the yacht. Let's get together. Tomorrow or the day after. This is rocket science, isn't it, really? Hi, what do I do? What do I do? I have the privilege of working under the umbrella of a massively successful company. On a daily basis, we improve people's health and their financial well-being. Which would you like to hear about first? Mary, you know you've always had that problem with eczema. Have you still got that? Really? 10 years? I think I've got some products that could help you. If they don't help, they'll give you money back. How difficult is that with practice? At the beginning, I found that very difficult. I opened my mouth to speak, and I suddenly had a grasp of a whale's tongue. You know, there was this two-tongue thing in my mouth, and it was, I'd spoken all my life, but suddenly I'd lost the power of speech. With practice, you become comfortable. When you become comfortable, you relax. And people are mesmerized by somebody who looks relaxed. We live in a very tense world, don't we? White-knuckle driving, white-knuckle people. I tell you, there's nothing else that be mesmerized because you look so happy and relaxed. I'd be attracted to that. In fact, subconsciously they'll be thinking, I don't know what you do, but I would like to look like that. That's such fun. Less is more. At the beginning, you know, when I had conversation, the very first telephone conversation where I managed to conquer the whale's tongue. But the conversation lasted an hour and a half. I think the person moved house after that. In fact, they probably left the country after that. Keep it short. Keep it short. They can't buy it in the supermarket. They can't buy it on the telephone. We need to make a sensible presentation of what this is about. Not to coerce them into the business, not to break their arms and force them in, but to show some benefits that could be available to them should they so choose. This is volunteer business. I don't want to trick people into the business so that the following day they have buyer's remorse. It's exposing the business to people. That's all it is. Exposing the business and exposing that product. And learn to listen. It's amazing when you listen, conversation with people. Become a good listener. You know, you say to somebody, you know, you're in a conversation, you say, you know, right now, how do you feel that way? And they tell you. You say, is that, you know, is that something you like to do something about? And you listen. And so they really like to have a beautiful home scene there. When they tell you, is that important to you? How would you feel if you never had it? Now, through a process of being interested in them and asking questions, we can get information which is valuable because we can match something from the business to what they want. It's no good you blabbering on about all the features of the marketing plan and talking about international travel if their biggest fear in life is getting on an airplane. They're not going to buy into that. So you find out what's important to them and match it. Because, boy, have we got a range of things available to match just about every need. We use our intelligence and we just relax and calm down. You don't worry about people saying, no, it's a shame. It's a good message, don't shoot me, I'm not even messenger. You know, if you've got health challenges and you don't choose to use our product, I'm terribly sorry, but I'm not the one with the problem. I've got the solution. If you're broke, if you're worried about money, if you can't do the things you want to do in life, and you don't choose to join forever, I'm not the one with the problem, I'm not the one with the solution. Don't you be, I'm only the messenger. It's a good message. I believe in the message. Because you say no, it doesn't devalue the message. You see, we all see what we see. And we fail to see what we fail to see. I'm only looking for people who see what I see. Or with more information, can see what I already see. That into a one-to-one. Well, I love a one-to-one. You know, we've got all the technology, haven't we? But I love sitting down with somebody, eyeball to eyeball, knee to knee. Because a person with flesh and blood, you can see the expression in their eyes. You know, an email's fantastic, but it doesn't tell you the emotion that was linked with that statement, that cold wording on the page. When you see with them, you see a puzzled look on their face, you can answer that. You can't answer a puzzled look on their face from an email if it's not down there as a question. So I love sitting down with somebody. Again, the one-to-one. My first one-to-one lasted 2.5 hours. Yeah, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, no big deal. Just run a little bit of information past them. Don't swamp them. It's only to qualify whether they would like to find out more. That's all it is. Get them to a business presentation. It's only qualifying whether they see something in their business or they don't. Hey, I'm cool. You do? Fantastic. You don't? That's a pity. You do. And sponsor people. We get those willing volunteers on board and they join us almost as co-workers. Too many people think you just sponsor and that's it. You've got the box, get on with it. No! You've got to work with them. This is where the hard work starts. This is based on the relationship. You've got to find out what they want. What do you want? And when do you want it? Let me show you how to get it. Do you feel comfortable without working with me to get what you want and you want it? Let's go to work together. That starts the duplication process. You're working together. And show them, don't tell them. Don't tell them how to make a phone call, show them. Don't tell them how to do a one-to-one, show them. Hey, I could have given my kids every manual on the planet on how to ride a bicycle. And they would still have either not tried or fallen off and still be falling. It's so much easier when somebody shows you. Don't tell them, show them. This sounds like a lot of work. It is, but there are a lot of benefits to be had at the end of the process. And then look to spend your quality time with 5 key people. 5 key people. Jane and I have done this ever since we started in 1993. We're always seeking to find, identify, and work with 5 key people. These are the people who are going to get our premier time. This is where we work intensively with them. If you spread yourself thinly across an entire team, you'll be starving the people who deserve the time, and you'll be overfeeding the people who waste your time. You have to learn the difference. In business building terms, when we're not marketing the product or the opportunity, but we're working with people, we always reckon spend about 80% of our time in that area working with those 5 people. Everybody else gets the other 20%. What's a key person? A distributor who's keen to build a manager. Simple as that. This is a manager building business. Where do you earn the most percentage points? As a manager. Where do you earn the gym bonus? As a manager. It's a manager building business. Isn't it? You see, everybody joins this business, as far as I'm concerned, as a trainee manager. Once they're a manager, they're a trainee diamond. Why would you be a diamond? Because you earn the most money as a diamond. Seems logical to me. I'm going to offer you a job. You can either have 20,000 or 30,000. Which would you like? Difficult question. It's the way the plan is structured. Don't you be the reason why people are stunted, why they stay down there, because you're not giving them a big enough vision, because you haven't got it yourself. People who attend the weekly business presentation, that's a key person. You can always tell whether somebody's not a key person because they've got every excuse. But we always say, don't tell me you've got a big case. And you go, what? You say you've got a big case, that's why you can't give the presentation. And you go, I don't understand. Well, that's as good an excuse as any other. What's that? You always tell the excuse people, we're not key players. They come for all relevant training. You know, the people say, oh, I can't come to the training on Tuesday because that's the night I play bridge or golf. Give up playing golf on that evening, and when you're successful in the business, you can buy your own golf course. And they've got to be prepared to work with you. They have to understand, you know, you have got no space for time wasters. Your time is valuable. You only give your time to people who deserve your time. Got to work closely with you. You've got to have a great attitude and a great passion. You know, I'd quite like to have a nice life. Oh, come on. You know those people who've got a lousy attitude? Their mouth was put on by God the wrong way up. You ever met any of that? I'm sure you've never met any of those. You can always tell when you've got one, because when they leave the room, it's as though the sun has come out. They're never going to be a key person. Working with a great attitude, a great passion. The people who will work the system. You know, I mentioned the system. The system is so important. Not reinvent the system. Men are particularly prone to this. Oh, it looks too simple to me. This was me, 1993. Company was only doing 639 million. And I thought in my infinite wisdom, this is pretty simple. I'll reinvent it. And they totally ignored me. And they went on being successful. So I thought, if I can't beat them, I'll join them. It's very simple. Well, the system. There's a manager structure up on the screen. You know, you haven't really got to manage your business until you've got people who are duplicating. If you're working with those 5 key people, and all you've done is you have recruited 5 people, you haven't got to manage your business, because the manager of business almost by definition has to have growth potential. And unless people are duplicating themselves, you're not networking. You're growing a direct sales business. You're a sales manager. You're recruiting people who sell the product. Well, that's very nice, but it'll never grow your big business. It'll never make you a lot of money. It'll never make your people a lot of money. Now you see, I put one up on the screen. We've got 4, out of our key 5 people, we've got 4 supervisors and assistant managers. There's our future. That's where we're going to spend key time. We'll work with those people through to manager, and once they get to manager, we work so that they duplicate themselves and they become good managers. Do you know, Jane and I reckon a good successful manager, we will put 1,000 hours in. That's a lot of time. Is it worth it? I was going to say, manager, is it worth it? Of course. Of course. Manager, that's a manager, that's a real manager business. There's a soaring structure. I love soaring. It's such a great position. Why? Because it guarantees all the stuff on the program. You know, if you've got a program of stuff, why wouldn't you want the stuff? Oh no, I don't want that profit chester. No, I don't want to go to the super rally. No, I don't want the car plan, you don't do census progress. No. What? I think maybe I chose one of my 5 badly. Sewing manager. What's a sewing manager? It's a trained sapphire where you get the gem bonus. But the key thing is you're building security. Because you're building people, and in building people, you build their security and you build your own security. You know, potentially, the people in the room of being born now on this planet can expect a long time on this planet. Do you know, as of 2010, if you were born in the UK, 1 in 4 people statistically are likely to live to achieve 100 years of age. That's a long time. It's a little nearer for me than it is for most of you in the room, but it's still a long time. And you have to be able to provide for yourself for a long time. So you want a secure business that goes on delivering month after month, year after year. And then you leave it to the people you love and you can go on providing for them as well. And if you set that sort of program up, in 5 years you're in government. Hey, you start on the left-hand side of the board, and you just make a commitment to developing 5 key people to manage a year for 5 years, you're done. Jane and I were a bit slow. It took us about 7.5 years. But it's up to you, isn't it? How soon do you want to have a great life? Personally, because I was a little older than most of you when I started, I wanted to do it as soon as possible so I could enjoy it for as long as possible. It's sensible to me, but the key to that is knowing what do I have to do. You have to get to a lot of people. You know, if you set your goals and your dreams, and you don't have a plan of action, you're very unlikely to get there. If I got on that plane at Heathrow to come here and the pilot said I'm going to fly around for a bit and we'll find somewhere to land, I would not have been very, should we say, confident as to the outcome. You've got to be clear about what you're trying to achieve. If you're part-time in the business, if you're doing a job, career, profession, maybe you've got a family, 2 to 5 people a day. 2 to 5 people a day. Make contact. There's plenty of them to go around. Never run out of people. It's making the commitment that's important. If you're full-time serious, 5 to 10 people a day. You know, it's no surprise to me now, I know what I know, because of what we did, but it took us as long as it did to get the diamond. Our dear friend in Germany, Catherine Bowes, she spoke to 30 people a day, and she made diamonds in 2 years. How does that grab you? $50,000 a month after 2 years. That was a big commitment. But we didn't know this stuff when we started. I'll show you what happened with us. These are our stats. These are our real stats from 1994. Started in August 1993, kept records right from day one. I wanted to know what was going on. We contacted, you see, 1,585 people in our first year. We didn't know how many people we were supposed to contact, but we worked a simple formula. We said, look, if we spoke to 5 people a day about the business and 1 person a day about the products, that would be about right. We know we don't need to get hundreds of customers, but we have to have customers, because we're going to have to teach our people how to have customers. But actually, we're looking for key people. We're looking to build a team. So we spoke to 5 people a day. In fact, we actually worked it around that we would do 6 a day for 5 days a week. Because we had 1 or 2 other challenges that actually dealt with at the time, not mentioned for kids. We still wanted to have a life, but we were serious. This was not a hobby. This was not a game. This was a business. And there was only one outcome to it. It had to work. It had to work. Failure was never an option. From that, 1,585 contacts. It might be just a casual contact. It might be a birthday card with a note saying, just started a fantastic new business. You see, we could send more than that. Within 10 minutes of them opening the phone, there was a phone call. What are you doing? Might be conversations through. We made contact with human beings. Contact 4. 165 1-to-1, 1 in 10. With practice, you get that down to 1 in 5. But we didn't know that then. We didn't care if it was 1 in 20. We were going to do it. We made that commitment to those people every day. In fact, one night at 11:30 at night, Jane and I were just about to go to bed. We looked at each other and said, we're unsure. Got out of bed, got in the car, went to an all-night gas station to get some, I don't know if you have the same thing here where you can buy milk and groceries. I bought a half litre of milk I didn't want, just so I could lift the flat and say, would you be interested in making me more money? It's not the outcome, it's the process. Once you get involved in the process and make a commitment to the process, the outcome will take care of itself, because averages will always work for you. Just your averages will get better with practice. So 132 said no or no, not now. We didn't know then that a no is not necessarily a real no. Sometimes people say no, never cross my door again. Or sometimes it's no, not now. One of those people, one of those 132 who said no, we lied. So we went back. And it was no, and it was no, and it was no, and it was no for 7 years, and then it was yes, and she was our 26th manager, we got no. Well, most people do. Somebody says no, and people come home and cut their wrists. Oh, well, they really want to go no. You didn't talk to enough people, you didn't get enough no's. You get the yeses. 33 people joined us as assistant supervisors. 5 of them weren't very good. I don't know why they joined. I'm sure some of those 5 left the bank because we never made contact with them again. I don't know why they got the box. I don't know why they joined the business. I don't know. Maybe there was nothing on television that night. I don't know. What I learned, though, was not to worry about it. It's just part of the plan. Because the really good thing is 6 of them became managers. One of those managers wasn't very good. One of them was supersonic. It's just the way it is. We need enough of them. And that was responsible for our first royalty income that amounted to $65,000 in a year. Just the royalty. Is it worth going through the pain? Yeah. Interested? No. Interested? No. Interested? No. Interested? No. Interested? No. Interested? No. Interested? Yes. Fantastic. Welcome to the team. Give me your safe hands. We'll have fun together. No. Yes. Fantastic. Welcome to the team. Looking forward to working with you. No. You're going to get a lot of no's. Oh, it's such a terrible word. Oh. It's only got 2 letters. Guess what? Yes, it's got 3 letters. It's 50% more powerful than no. Don't worry about it. Know your stats. You need to know your stats. If you don't know your stats, you don't know what's expected of you. I talk to people, sometimes, I say, what do you want? And they go, I want to get done. And I say, well, you've been in business 5 years, and you're senior manager. At your present rate of progress and activity, you're going to be 137 when you get paid by reps. You've got to know your stats. It's not about sticking your finger up in the air and going, oh, that's still a lot. It maybe get you there, maybe it won't, I don't know. Don't know your stats. How many people do I have to talk to get an assistant supervisor? How many assistant supervisors do I have to have in order to get a supervisor? How many supervisors do I need to get a manager? How many managers do I need to get a senior manager? Know your stats. It's not rocket science. If I'm a manager and I'm making an average 10% on the retail turnover of business, how many people do I need to add to my team to add another 1,000 to my bottom line? Not I'll do a lot. If you're not numbers orientated, I apologize. I'm a very numbers person. Jane has the advantage, she's totally number dyslexic. So she knows to the cent how much our bonus should be. But you've got to know your stats. Otherwise you don't know what you're doing. You don't know whether you're improving, you don't know whether you're getting worse. You haven't got a clue what's going on. You do this. What drove us to be so successful and so disciplined? Or all modesty, relatively successful. You know, there are some people who, to me, do walk across the water. They take my breath away. Which is all we do. But we had goals. Clearly defined goals. Remember I mentioned that refrigerator? To get some food in that refrigerator seemed like a good place to start. But it wasn't that drove it forward. For Jane, it was to have private education for the kids. Now, as I owed about $60,000 to the bank on the day we started this business, to have kids in fee-paying schools was not high on my list. I love the kids. But you know what was important? Was to have time. I had one of those corporate jobs where I worked day and night. I didn't see my first two children grow up. I was a typical corporate dad. I was always in the office when they got up. I was in the office when they went to bed. They had birthdays, they had sports days. I was the dad who was never there. Time was the one thing I wanted before I ran out of time. Do you know, within a very short time there I was the dad on the touchline when my boy was playing his school in rugby. And I was on the touchline where were all the other dads? Doing what dads normally do. What price do you put on that? See, that was important to me. Having a great home. Not an okay home. I had okay homes. I wanted something where people were like, oh my God. That is beautiful. Oh. Travel to exotic locations. Not just staying in five-star hotels, by the way. Jane and I have just done a month in Africa. It's really about to have any war. It's not about five-star. It's about quality of travel. Money. Say that after me. Money. There is nothing wrong with money. You know that saying that money is the root of all evil? That was invented by rich people because they didn't want the poor people to take the money away from them. Right? There is nothing wrong with money. Love of money, that's not a good thing. But you can do a lot of good with money. Success. Some people are scared of success. We wanted to be successful. I came from a long line of people who weren't successful. I wanted to be the first person in my family who was successful. Jane came from a successful family. Hey, she wanted to be another person in the family who was successful. You see, we're all slightly different, aren't we? But it's what's important to you. That's what drove us forward. But for Jane it was the school. We joined in the August of 1 year, in debt, lost our home, nothing in the fridge. The following year, those two kids went to top fee-paying schools. How was that possible? Because she wanted it enough. You don't have big goals. Big goals drive big ambitions, drive big actions. So if you have a dream, let's look at the big one. A goal, you've got to have passion. Passion. I will succeed. I will not be denied. Join me, follow me, or get out of my way. Failure is not an option. You see, to achieve a goal, you've got to start with the destination in mind, and then plan backwards. That's important. You have a big goal. Clearly define, know what it is, and then plan backwards. From the destination back to the point of departure. In chunks. It's amazing how it breaks down into digestible chunks. If you break it down. And if you look at the doing, globally, you think, I know that I can do that. So I can do that little bit, and then the next little bit, and the next little bit, and the next little bit. I'm running out of time, I'm over time. Make a plan, break down the activity, break it down. That's why we did, we did this 30 people a week. Because we could commit to it and sustain it. It's got to be monthly, weekly, daily tasks that you commit to and you actually adhere to, you stick with. Keep a diary with your activity recorded. Keep a diary so you know. Stick to your daily tasks. Don't backslide. If you've got to do that number every day, make that number of calls, do that number of meetings in a week, do whatever you've got to do, stick to it. Work the numbers. The numbers will always work for you. You see, if I'm twice as good as you, and you can't know, you can still be me. Because you can do 3 times as much. Isn't that great news? Anybody can be beaten, only the quantity. Are you prepared to work quantity? You want to get results. Results will follow for you just as they did for us. You know, your journey to your destination requires a vehicle, doesn't it? Forever is the vehicle. It's utterly reliable. It's the best there is. Never let anybody down. It's secure. Financially sound. Sounds like a good vehicle to me. But the vehicle needs fuel put into it. If your business is an empty gas tank, you're not going anywhere. So you have to fill the vehicle forever with the fuel that propels it forward. I'm out of time. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. It's been a privilege.